I've seen people die in car wrecks, overdoses on sidewalks, even once held a guy's artery closed with my bare hands till the ambulance showed up, but I never imagined the most painful death I'd ever witnessed would happen right on my family's front porch while a woman in a white SUV blocked the only road in like she was guarding the damn gates of heaven. That woman was Meredith Langley, president of the Sycamore Trails HOA, self-proclaimed guardian of community aesthetics, and apparently the kind of person who thinks a lawn symmetry matters more than a man's heartbeat. My grandfather, Walter, was on the floor inside that house, struggling to breathe, clutching his chest, and gasping for air while Meredith argued with the paramedics about vehicle height restrictions and noise ordinances. Rules are rules, she said, holding a noise meter in one hand and a measuring tape in the other like some kind of bureaucratic executioner. Yeah, that happened. While Grandpa was dying 30 feet away. Let me back up a sec. Our house has been in the family for 5 generations. It was built in 1874, big, creaky, filled with memories and secrets. Over time, this whole community sprouted around it. What used to be farmland and trees is now rows of identical beige homes, where people care more about HOA bylaws than actual neighbors. But Grandpa, he stayed. He said, if they wanna box me in, I'll teach 'em how to build better boxes. That was him. I'd taken a couple weeks off my cybersecurity work to help him modernize the place. We were installing smart locks, cameras, sensors, the works. He joked, if we're living in the future, we might as well see it coming. Funny thing. Those cameras would end up catching more than we bargained for. The day it all happened, he'd been talking about Meredith, how she wasn't just some HOA tyrant, how there was something off about her. Said her name used to be different, that she came into money right after her sister Jessica died under, let's say, unusual circumstances. He was mid-sentence when it hit his face, went pale, hands to his chest, and just like that, my world changed. I called 911, started CPR. They said help was on the way. I heard the sirens. We were gonna make it. Then that white Escalade pulled in and stopped everything. I begged her. Please, he's having a heart attack. She tilted her sunglasses down, scanned the paramedic's badge, and said, you'll need to reroute. This vehicle exceeds HOA regulations. She made them go around the neighborhood. Took 15 minutes. By the time they got to him, it was too late. He died in my arms. Whispered something I'll never forget, Meredith Cloud Backup Passwords, Lucy, 1984. I didn't even have time to grieve before Meredith showed up smiling, wearing black, telling everyone at the funeral how much she respected Walter's legacy. She even had the nerve to hand me an invoice for aesthetic restoration. $500 to clean up tire marks from the ambulance. That's when I knew. This wasn't about noise or property value. Meredith wasn't just heartless. She was hiding something. So I dug the smart home system Grandpa and I installed. It was recording everything. Video, audio, movement logs, all of it synced to encrypted cloud storage. I accessed it using the password he gave me, and what I found. She'd been surveilling us for weeks, lurking outside our windows at night, whispering into her phone, he knows. If he talks to his grandson, we're done. My stomach turned. And then there were the searches. Grandpa had been looking up inheritance law, old court cases involving Jessica Langley, her sister. Turns out Jessica died 15 years ago, ruled a suicide after falling down her apartment stairs. But files in the cloud showed Meredith had visited her that night. Footage from her own doorbell cam backed up online showed her coming home exactly 28 minutes after Jessica's time of death. And there was more. She'd been hacking into neighbors' smart systems, manipulating thermostats, pill dispensers, even a pacemaker once my grandfather's. Yeah, his device had been remotely accessed right before the heart attack. Meredith had the skills and the motive. Jessica was set to inherit the family estate until Meredith got her declared mentally unstable, then dead. And she would have gotten away with it too if Grandpa hadn't started sniffing around. And if he hadn't left me the keys. The final nail. A voice recording from just before Grandpa died. Meredith on the phone, whispering, if he tells the kid, everything crashes. We need to speed up the timeline. She called someone named J. Turned out to be George Patterson, the same guy who ruled Jessica's death an accident. Meredith had dirt on him too. I built a case, packaged everything up, sent it to law enforcement. But I knew she wouldn't go down without a fight. So I set a trap. I made it look like I'd left town, posted about taking a break to grieve, even had my car seen driving off. But I stayed, hidden in the house, cameras rolling, systems primed. And just like clockwork, she showed up. It was after midnight when the sensors went off. Meredith, creeping up the driveway with a signal jammer and what looked like accelerant. She thought she was walking into an empty house. Thought she could burn the place down and erase every shred of evidence. What she didn't know was that she was being live-streamed to a federal server 3 states away. Every word, every move captured in 4K. She walked through Grandpa's study like a predator. Started talking to herself. 15 years of covering tracks, she said. All ruined by a nosy old man and his Boy Scout grandson. Sarah, water, and now Danny, all liabilities. And then she called the judge. It's done, she whispered. House will be ashes by morning. Daniel's gone. Just like I planned with Water's pacemaker. Beautiful, wasn't it? But I wasn't gone. And this wasn't a house of ashes. I stepped out of the shadows and said, smile for the cameras, Meredith. She froze. Realized too late it had all been a setup. Cops were waiting outside. She tried to run. Didn't make it past the rose bushes. Her arrest made headlines. Trial of the year. Digital evidence so airtight her own lawyer gave up halfway through. Patterson flipped on her to save himself. Meredith was sentenced to Lifino parole. Her secret unraveled like bad yarn. And our house? Still standing. Still creaky. Still ours. Sometimes, justice looks like a courtroom verdict. Sometimes, it looks like a woman in a pantsuit being dragged away screaming about bylaws and landscaping regulations. But here's the thing that keeps me up at night: if Grandpa hadn't upgraded the house, if he hadn't left those breadcrumbs, Meredith would still be out there, holding HOA meetings and smiling for holiday cards. So let me ask you, what's worse, losing someone to fate, or losing them because someone decided a rule mattered more than a life? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was justice really served? Or is this just the tip of something deeper about power, control, and how we let it hide behind pretty fences? Because in the end, evil doesn't always wear a mask. Sometimes, it wears pearls and carries a clipboard.